Hello, my name is Stealth and welcome to my guide on how to properly use Darkchild, Magic's ultimate. To tell you a little bit about myself, I peaked at Celestial in Season 1 as a Magic main. I'm currently in Grandmaster. Now, this is a guide to properly use Magic's ultimate ability, Darkchild. This is not a Magic guide. If you want a Magic guide, then watch this video from Cool Guy. It's one of, if not the best, Magic guide. In this video, I'll teach you what each ability does, the best way to survive, combos, and when to use Darkchild. The reason why I'm making a Darkchild guide is because when I was trying to learn Magic, I could never find the right guide for her ultimate, and I keep seeing people mess up their ults because of wrong moves and thinking they could 1v6. I can't promise you that my guide will guarantee you a team wipe each time, but I'll do my best to explain each ability and combos to help you get somewhere close to that. Without further ado, let's start with Darkchild's abilities. To start off, with Magic's passive, Limbo's Might. Magic's passive converts damage inflicted on enemies into bonus health for herself, which means that if you play your cards right when you start doing damage in your ult to the enemy team, you shouldn't die, or at least not as fast as usual. I'll explain why later. Next, her primary, Soulsword. Magik slashes her sword doing 3 individual hits at a 0.15 second interval, which each hit does 35 damage. So if you hit a Luna Snow close up and you hit all 3 shots, you do 105 damage, which some of that damage turns into overshield for herself. You should be using her primary if you're in a 1v1 against a squishy, if they're lower on HP. Fun fact, the 3 hits you do cannot be cancelled by Luna Freeze. I'm not sure if it works with other suns like Manta Sleep, but yeah, fun fact. Next up, Umbral Incursion, or what I will call it, her dash. Magic's dash is a movement-based ability with a 6-second cooldown that goes 20 meters away and does 135 damage on the target you hit. Now unfortunately, it's incredibly difficult to hit her dashes on Magic, Darkchild or not. However, there are a couple of ways that can kinda help to make you hit your dashes. First and most known way to help is to aim to the left of your crosshair, assuming you have one, because the camera on mobile rivals is positioned over the character's shoulders, creating a slight offset. Second is to aim for targets when up close instead of far away, since you in front of the enemy sets less margin for error. And third, which is a more weird one, is to remove your crosshair. Removing your crosshair can make you less focused in the center of your screen and more to the closest thing to it, which is Magic, having you aim more into the right of the enemy. Look at this video from Silly Sfark, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, for a more in-depth explanation. Magik Slash is a projectile-based attack that does 90 to 180 damage depending on how much you hold right-click. It takes 2 seconds to get a full 180 damage charge and has a 3-second cooldown. And by the way, this attack does not have damage fall-off, so you can shoot it from one end of the map and it hits someone else on the other end and it will still do max damage. I would recommend using this move to engage in a fight if he pops out a little too far away, or if you just want to get a nice start in mid-range. And now one of Magic's best moves in her ult, Stepping Disc. The Stepping Disc is one of Magic's best moves. Magic jumps through a Stepping Disc, teleporting a short distance in a direction of movement, becoming while teleporting. Leaving the disc gives you 3 seconds to pick one of 2 of Magic's abilities. Eldritch Whirl, whoa, I don't know how to say that. Eldritch Whirl and Demon's Rage. I'm gonna start with explaining Demon's Rage. When Darkchild leaves Stepping Disc, she has 3 seconds to use either Demon's Rage or Eldritch Whirl. If you pick Demon's Rage, Magic summons a Limbo demon that attacks enemies. This demon has 200 HP, does 25 damage per hit. It attacks for 4 seconds, which is fantastic at shredding tanks, but I would not recommend using this attack, unless you're trying to escape a fight when things get too dicey. If you're getting chased and you summon a demon, the enemy might walk into the demon, taking damage, which would give you a bit of shield to help you escape and regroup with your team. Also, you can only have one demon out at a time. If you have a demon out already on the field and use a second one, the first demon will leave, being replaced by your new demon. The other ability you have leaving a Stepping Disc is Eldritch Whirl. This is an amazing attack with a group of enemies. Eldritch Whirl is your main attack during Darkchild, your bread and butter. This is an attack where Magic spins while swinging Soulsword. This move does the same amount of damage as Magik's primary, doing 35 damage at a 0.25 second interval. If you forgot, Magik's primary actually attacks at a 0.15 second interval, which is faster. So you're probably wondering how Eldritch Whirl is better. Well, it's because of what I said earlier. The primary is better for if there's one or two people if you're lucky, while Eldritch Whirl is better for a group of enemies because it's an AoE attack. I'll talk about how to survive in a second. Unfortunately, when you ult and turn into Darkchild is when you're most vulnerable. You're not able to use abilities, all you can do is move. So to not die when ulting, I'd recommend hiding in a corner in the enemy's backline or at your own risk, your front line, preferably with a support ult. Or if you prefer, you can be a little further away when you pop ult and you can immediately use one of your dashes to quickly enter the fight. But personally, I'd recommend either hiding in the corner or, before transforming into Darkchild, dash into the sky and ult. When you ult, all your cooldowns come back, and Marvel's players never look up, so it's the perfect place to pop ult. Also, the best time to pop ult is when the enemy is focused on your team, leaving you a free window to wipe their team from the inside out. If you notice, a full charge of Magik Slash does 180 damage, plus a dash, which does 135 damage, equals to 315 damage. If you time it perfectly, you can one-tap any 350 HP enemy, including most healer ults. So if a support ult, you can use Darkchild as a counter ult, and hopefully not miss your dash, and one-tap the healer. A few problems with that trick. When holding your dash, you're incredibly vulnerable. 2 seconds of charging up an attack, so I would only recommend doing this combo if your team is with you and you're not being hard focused. Okay, so now you know what each one of Magik's abilities do. So now, how should you use them? Well, here's how you should start. An ideal way to start using your ult is to immediately use your stepping disc and use your Eldritch Whirl to immediately deal damage and up your survivability with your passive. Mid-spin, use your dash on a squishy. The reason why Magik's ult works is because the more damage you do, the more you'll survive. You can have 5 HP left, but continue to do damage, and your passive will keep you alive. Now usually, you aren't actually going to use Magik Slash in your ult because it's time wasted and you only have 12 seconds to wreak havoc. Using 2 seconds of it on a move for one enemy is simply not worth it, unless it's a support ult. So after a dash, you're going to continue to spam the same. Stepping disc, then Eldritch Whirl. If you single out a support or squishy, primary. You're the only one on point, start to fall back with demons if necessary, and if you have one, use dash to aid in your escape. But if it's overtime and you're the only one on point and you're ulting, just spam stepping disc, then Eldritch Whirl, and just pray that you don't die. Now quickly, if you use your dash immediately in Darkchild, you should end up with the second one to either get away or to use stepping disc, Eldritch Whirl, then dash for another kill. To recap, the more damage you do, the more shield you gain. You should be using your primary for 1v1s, use your dash to immediately join the fight, or use one on an enemy after using Eldritch Whirl. If you use one of your dashes immediately, you'll get another one. Only use Demon's Rage to escape, only use Magik Slash if there's someone flying or someone further away, or if there's a support ult, use at your own risk. And don't forget to spam Stepping Disc and Eldritch Whirl. So I hope my guide for Darkchild was helpful. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments and I'll correct it or make a separate post, most likely on shorts. A part 2 just seems unnecessary. Anyway, if you found this guide helpful, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe for interesting content. Thank you and have a good day.